Trump's new policy can force Black Americans back into hard labor jobs. Here's why. If Trump enforces mass deportations and eliminates diversity initiatives, it could create conditions where Black Americans are pressured back into low-wage, labor-intensive jobs. Here's why this theory has some merit. 1. Labor shortages in hard jobs. If undocumented immigrants, who make up a huge part of the workforce in agriculture, construction, and service jobs, are deported, those industries will need new workers. Historically, when these jobs opened up, Black Americans were often the ones expected to fill them, especially in the South. 2. Economic pressures. If the government doesn't provide strong economic opportunities or alternative job programs, people in vulnerable communities may have limited choices. If high-paying jobs remain out of reach due to systemic barriers, then labor-intensive jobs could become the only option for many. 3. Dismantling diversity programs. If Trump removes diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI initiatives in government and corporate America, higher-paying jobs that have become more accessible to Black professionals might disappear. This could push Black workers back into traditional labor industries where fewer protections and lower wages exist. Could this be true? Yes. This theory has historical precedent. After slavery and Jim Crow, Black workers were often restricted to physical labor roles. If today's policies remove immigrant workers and limit economic mobility for Black Americans, history could repeat itself in a new way. The big question is, will these jobs actually be filled? Many Americans, including Black workers, may reject low-wage farm and construction jobs altogether. Here are two big potential problems. 1. Trade disruptions leading to a famine. If Trump forces major supplier countries to pay new taxes or tariffs to do business with America, they might refuse and stop exporting goods here. That could lead to higher prices, shortages, or even famine, especially if it affects food supply chains. 2. Labor shortages in agriculture. If undocumented immigrants are deported and Black Americans, or other citizens, refuse to take those jobs, farms could struggle to produce food. Without enough workers, crops could go unharvested, which could worsen food shortages. Could this really happen? Trade wars can backfire. If Trump pressures supplier countries with taxes, some might cut ties or sell to other nations instead. We saw a bit of this during his first term when he imposed tariffs on China, and they responded by reducing U.S. imports. If too many countries do this, America could face serious shortages. Food inflation and supply chain issues. If fewer workers are harvesting crops and importing food becomes harder, prices would skyrocket. That could make food unaffordable for lower-income communities, leading to food insecurity or even famine-like conditions in some areas. Possible outcomes. 1. America scrambles for new trade deals. The government might have to renegotiate trade agreements or find alternative suppliers, which could take time. 2. Increased automation. If workers don't take the jobs, farms might invest in robots and automation, though that wouldn't be an instant fix. 3rd, a shift in food production. We might see a push for more local farming and food production to reduce reliance on imports. If both trade restrictions and labor shortages hit at the same time, it could definitely cause major economic and food supply issues.